Hello students, I hope all of you are fine at your homes. Today we will start our new chapter, that is Glimpses of India. We will begin with the part 1 of this chapter named A Baker from Goa. Students, let me brief the story to you. What is the exact story in this chapter? Let me give you a brief summary of that. A Baker from Goa revolves around the relevance of a baker in the Goan culture, which dates back to the time when Portuguese may have left, but the bread makers continued to have an inevitable stature. In this story, the author recalls his childhood days and their excitement on seeing the baker. They were enthusiastic to the point they would run to him as soon as they woke up without even brushing their teeth. Means they were so much excited that time whenever the baker came in on their streets, in their homes, they just ran to fetch up the breads. So let us begin with the chapter. Our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. We still have amongst us the mixers, the molders, and those who bake the loaves. The age old, time tested furnaces still exist. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. The thud and the jing of the traditional baker's bamboo, heralding his arrival in the morning. What do you mean by heralding? Heralding means the announcing of the arrival. Can still be heard in some places. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. These bakers are even today known as Pedar in Goa. So students, let me explain you this paragraph. Here we have started from the paragraph. Our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days. Means still we are thinking of them, we are recalling the ancestors' profession. Right? Reminiscing nostalgically means thinking fondly about the past, about the scenario which has gone, but still we are recalling its presence. Right? So here the writer is recalling the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished. Means those people who used to eat loaves with complete fondness, with complete interest, they might have vanished, but the makers are still there. Means the craze about the loaves, the craze about the breads might have vanished, might have lost somewhere, but the makers are still there. The profession is still carried on in the presence. We still have amongst us the mixers, the molders, and those who have baked the loaves. So those age-old time-tested furnaces still exist. See here, writer is saying that the old time, the old enthusiasm must have vanished somewhere, must have lost somewhere, but still the profession, the mixers, the molders are still there. Their existence haven't been lost. Let's move further. The traditional baker bamboo heralding his arrival in the morning can still be heard in some places. Means it's not been completely lost. At some places you can still hear the announcement of that baker which used to come in the morning and want to sell their breads. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. Means the previous profession which was carried by the father, still continuing with the further preceders and further successors who are still continuing with the family profession and still selling those breads. These bakers are even today known as Pedder in Goa. So you have seen what is the exact name for those bakers which are still known as Pedder in Goa. During our childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, companion and guide. He used to come at least twice a day. Once when he set out in the morning on his selling round, and then again when he returned after emptying his huge basket. The jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from sleep and we ran to meet and greet him. Why was it so? Was it for the love of the loaf? Not at all. The loaves were brought by some Paskin or Bastin, the maidservant of the house. What we longed for were those bread bangles, which we chose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread of special make. So students, here in this para, author is actually remembering his childhood in Goa, where the baker used to be their friend, companion and guide. Means they not only bought the things from them, bought the eatables from them, they also talked with them and became their friends. They used to share so many things along. He is remembering that that baker used to come at least twice a day, and then at the end of the day he emptying his huge basket. Then the jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from sleep. Now he is remembering that time when he used to woke up. Even all the children used to woke up by the by the jingling thud of his bamboo. Means that noise which came when he just put his stick on the floor, right? So why was it so? Here the author is wondering why was it so? Was it the love for the loaf? Loaf means the piece of bread. But no, it was not the love for the bread. It was actually the craze for the bread bangles, because the bread can be brought by some Paskin or Bastin, which are the maidservant of the house. But they were actually excited for the bread bangles, which we choose carefully. He is saying that they used to choose those bread bangles very carefully. They were very conscious about their taste and their appearance. Let's move on with the next paragraph. The baker made his musical entry on the scene with the jung sound of his specially made bamboo staff. One hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. He would greet the lady of the house with good morning and then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. So you can imagine, students, how interesting it would be that a person is coming at the home with a musical entry on the scene with the music of jung with his bamboo stick. And That time the people were so well mannered, the people were so enthusiastic that they actually greet each other in a very good way. So that was a great thing to remember. He would greet the lady of the house with good morning and then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. But we would not give up. We would climb a bench or the parapet and peep into the basket somehow. So here the author is remembering the thing that whenever the baker came at their homes, the bread, actually the loaves, would be distributed to the servant or would be given to the servant, but the kids were not so but the kids were very smart. They were smart enough to get the loaves by their own, whether they had to climbed up the parapet. What do you mean by parapet? Means some kind of balcony, bridge, anything, and peep into the basket somehow. They somehow managed to keep out those loaves for themselves. I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves. Loaves for the elders and the bangles for the children. Then we did not even care to brush our teeth or wash our mouths properly. And why should we? We would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf for the toothbrush. And why was it necessary at all? The tiger never brushed his teeth. Hot tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely after all. So here the writer is interestingly recalling the memory when they used to smell those loaves. The particular fragrance of those loaves were very interesting, were quite unique. Loaves for the elders and bangles for the children. That time, loaves would be for the elders and the bangles for the children. So they were very excited that time to take those bangles. Then we did not even properly, here the writer is saying that we did not even brush their teeth, we did not even care about to wash our mouth, but we just wanted to have those loaves, those bangle sticks, and we wanted to eat them only. Here he is putting a line that, what is the line here? That the tiger never brushed his teeth. Hot tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely. After all, here he is saying that there is no need to wash our mouths and brush our teeth. We are very smart enough by appearance. Okay, students, let's come to the next paragraph. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl. What was the name of the sweet bread? Bowl. Just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread. Not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Cakes and bolinas are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Thus, the presence of the baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. So here, writer is saying that marriage gifts are meaningless. Like if there is no arrangement of sweet bread known as the bowl, the marriage gifts are meaningless. They are of no use. The marriages are actually incomplete without the sweet bread known as bowl. And the presence of the baker the baker for the baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. Without that, any function, any marriage, any occasion is incomplete. They are actually very much important. The baker or bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress known as the kabai. What was the name of that dress? Kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knees. Students, you can imagine the dress right now. In our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which were shorter than full length ones and longer than half pants. Like you can say that in today's time, children are wearing capris or which are quite lengthier than the half pants, right? Even today, anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knees invites the comment that he is dressed like a pader. So can you imagine the appearance of that pader? What kind of dress he used to wear that time? The baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. Monthly accounts used to be recorded on some wall in pencil. Baking was indeed a profitable profession in the old days. The baker and his family never starved. He, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. Their plump physique was an open testimony to this. Even today, any person with a jackfruit like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. So, here writer is saying that the baker used to collect the bill, to collect the amount which for the things he sold out at the end of the month only. He used to earn enough amount to fulfill his and his family needs. They never been starved. They never been in hunger. And his family and his servant always looked happy and prosperous. They were actually very much satisfied with their lives, with their earnings. And their plump physique, means a very good physique, was an open testimony to this, means a complete proof, a complete justification for that they are earning well and they are having a good livelihood. Even today, any person with a jackfruit like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. Even today, if anyone is having a good physique, jackfruit like physique, can be easily compared with a baker. Means they were so happy, they used to be so satisfied with their lives that with that profession they used to earn enough money for their livelihood and they were completely satisfied with that. So students, that is enough for this chapter. I hope you all have understood what I have explained today and understand the exact meaning and the explanation of the chapter. Thank you.